Welcome to Flashes of Insight. I'm Joe Grayland, and today I'm speaking with James Allison in Spain, Sandy Ramage in New Zealand, and Tom O'Loughlin in Wales. We're discussing scapegoating, the abuse crisis, and restorative justice. I recently attended a session here in New Zealand designed for diocesan priests, and the person leading it said that in every relationship, I have power over everyone else. I thought that was a little bit limiting. I actually thought it was a little bit clericalist as well. But apparently, even if I go to my dentist, and if the dentist fiddles inappropriately with me, I'm still to blame because I'm either the dentist's parish priest, and therefore I have that authority, or I'm just a priest, and as a priest, I trump a dentist. So I found that a little bit bewildering. So do I, in fact, according to Sandy, James, and Tom, do I then, as a priest, have power in all of these relationships? Am I deluding myself? Or is the vision that says that I am clericalist?
Not if you're lying back in the chair with your mouth open in pain. I mean, this is... you know, I have a different training, I have a different experience. So I think this maybe represents the fear of the institution and this rush to safeguarding. And of course, institutions have to be concerned about the way that their clergy, their staff, their people operate. But I think that's just a protective mechanism that isn't actually facing up to the real issues. So, yeah, I think always we have to be careful about our power in society, and especially when we are trained in ways that enable us to bring presence into a situation. And I think that's one of the really scary things, that when we've been trained and experienced in ways that can bring whole groups of people to a very central point of vulnerability, then you bring presence and power, and you have to be really careful of it. But yeah, I can't run with the dentist chair one.
No, I obviously don't have power in the dentist's chair. I mean, actually, because I haven't been employed within the clerical structure for 35 years, I've been in the strange position of trying to exercise a priesthood quite literally without any of the trappings of power. Likewise, as a theologian, I have no license to practice. I have a doctorate, but I have no job. I have no backing. It's weird because theology should be a collective and a collegial discipline. Now, I'm aware that strangely, I have acquired a power precisely through living that experience, because I've talked about matters gay in public, because I've acquired a certain credibility in a sphere in which there isn't much credibility. And I don't think so much there's anything particular that I've said, but the fact that there's someone out there who's just trying to tell the truth about this. And that has a certain power. But I notice this, it's not a direct power. It's not something that I can, as it were, use or manipulate. It's something other people find powerful. And I think that that's a rather weird thing. It's something which we don't typically see in the church, because the church is all about unearned authority and trying to make it difficult for people to earn authority and to take it away from them if they have it. often enough, because it gets in the way of whatever the current line of something or other is. So I don't know. I don't think of power as a bad thing. I just don't think it works in the way that institutions would like it to work necessarily. And that the part of the gospel is trying to work out what Christ crucified, the power of God and the wisdom of God, what that actually means lived out in practice. It certainly doesn't mean a boss who is superior to a dentist.
I'd like to just come back with some, if each of you could give me a really brief response to this, your flash of insight. What is the value of the abuse crisis to both the life of the world and its redemption?
Light is essential to the discovery of truth. And insofar as light has been thrown into dark places, we are confronting ourselves. We are being alerted that we have to help those who have suffered, and we have to ask, how did it happen?
Tom, thank you. Sandy, what's your flash of insight?
Okay, for me, I think it is the opportunity to bring the unconscious into the conscious world. To do that, we must do our own work. We cannot reform institutions, only momentarily and in small ways, but we can work together in restorative and compassionate ways in small circles on the ground.
My flash of insight would be that humility and truthfulness go together. If it's not humble, it's probably not truthful. I'm not sure that something is truthful if it's not humble.
To Sandy, James, and Tom, thank you very much for sharing your time today with me here on Flashes of Insight.